And one. All right, y'all. Bearder Bros Golf Show. We are back with the midweek edition after the last 2 days of tumultuous activity on the golf landscape. Introductions. I am Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
If it's your first time here, welcome in. If it's your 15th time, welcome back. Just wanted to get on, vent a little bit, talk about all that's going on. I feel like now, after hearing and experiencing today, I feel like the USGA and R&A had the fix in and intentionally planned their golf ball announcement around the live rumors. They saw the opening coming up these last
Oh
couple of
yeah,
weeks, and they're like, let's get in front of this bad boy. What do you think about
for
that part
real.
of it?
The ball rollback is just complete garbage. I mean, again, all, it's just you do all the work to gain the yardage. You train, you get lessons, you spend hella money to get lessons to figure out how to hit it out the middle, figure out how to hit it the extra 5 to 10 that they're trying to take away for what?
Yeah.
And you want
I saw a
golf
tweet.
ball manufacturers to continue to, do their research and development and then have to scale that back or reassess their funds to start something new or do more research. Like, bro, like what we have going on already has positive momentum. Like, why would we be trying to take steps backwards?
Yeah.
That part is crazy to me.
Despite all the momentum that golf has going for it, even with all the tumultuous, stuff going on between Live and the PGA Tour, golf is most popular spot that it's been in that I can definitely think of, and that includes Peak
In a long
Tiger. The
time. Yeah.
participation is through the roof, and I saw a tweet from Michael Breed, Golf Channel guy, guy that PGA top 100 teacher pretty much every year, and he said that a Pro V1 from 1995 wouldn't even comply with this, updated ruling, and it feels like, that's so far out, 2028 for the pros, 2030 for the AMs, but, when a ball from 1995 wouldn't conform, that says a lot about how far this is actually moving people back. And you see the quotes
Hmm.
coming out from like Seth Wan saying, "Oh, take your blue and white tees, walk up 3 yards, put them back down. That's all you got to do to play the game that you want to play." And it's just really not that simple. If it was
It's
that
not.
simple, there's other things that they could have done outside of completely remaking the ball, or you just would have assumed that they would have come to this decision well before now. And we've really, touched on this whole ball thing a lot. And I don't know. The timing seems horrible. Knowing the other stuff that's going on in the game of golf, to have some level of self control to not do this at this time. Talking about this is for the game 20 to 30 years. So I think you could have, put this on the back burner for a little bit, to get out of this kind of rough patch that golf is
Definitely.
experiencing right now. I don't know. Just, when you sit in a glass house and, looking down on things and not really, in the thick of things, it just, I don't know. It feels like a
Yeah.
disconnected decision.
No, agreed. And Titleist had I was looking at Instagram per usual, and of course Titleist had just a great excerpt. They laid it all out for us all. They had all the they had all the facts, they had all the numbers, they told us what all has happened. They said everything has plateaued pretty much since 2017. No numbers have changed, no average distance. And then they said actually all this talk about how the ball needs to be, I mean, they're doing all this work with the ball, making it longer, but the courses are not being able to adjust because they don't have the land, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources. But in actuality, uh, in average from the 90s to now, the courses have been shortened. So who's really been cutting who off? It,
Mm.
again, course management is a lot of this that could be done to shorten up how far people are hitting it, and that's the easiest way to do it is with mother nature instead of spending billions of dollars collectively amongst all these ball manufacturers to change the rules again.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they're just gonna go dust off old plans from the early '90s and redo that or whatever. Who knows? But
I mean, we're about to
also,
have steel spikes out in the golf club again. Like plus
I saw
fours that for everybody.
in that blurb from Titleist that this is affecting the top 1% of the game. And when
Right.
they originally announced this deal, it wasn't going to affect amateurs at all. And I guess just through laziness and saying, okay, you don't want to play ball, we're just going to hurt everybody at this point. So again, we're making decisions based on the top 1% versus having some essentially what would be a local rule. We talked about on
Yeah.
the pod this past Sunday, you know, consider changing the driver up, making the driver head smaller. There's all kinds of things that they could have done and only made those things for the pros. And I think that would have impacted the game. And, here we are with all this angst and anxiety, even though, again, it's far out. But it's just like, why did you even have to do this at all? You could have left the amateur game alone. No one's hitting it past, hitting it through dog legs on a regular basis at your local club. So, what are we really talking about? What are we solving for? We're talking about the top 1% in the world, and probably even under that 1% when you just think about the professional tours that are out there. This can't be
Yep.
impacting that many people. So,
Truly.
um, anything else on the ball thing? I know we've been on this for really since the initial announcement and talked about it the last couple of weeks. You have
Yeah.
anything else to add here?
No, no, no need in beating the dead horse. We got a lot more stuff to be angry about.
Yeah, no doubt.
Golly.
So, of course, the news of today is the Jon Rahm thing, and I want to go ahead and start off with the clip that you've actually referred to, and I didn't know where it had originated from, but it's John talking about the live situation in early 2022, and just kind of talking about his perception of it, and we've kind of completely gone back on that as of today. So I'm going to play this clip. Yeah, this is the 2022
I put this
US Open.
delicately, points or arguments they can make towards why they prefer it. To be honest, part of the format is not really appealing to me. Shotgun 3 days to me is not a golf tournament, no cut. It's that simple. I want to play against the best in the world in a format that's been going on for hundreds of years, right? So that's what I want to see. And yeah, money is great, but when Kelly and I, this first thing happened, we started talking about it. We're like, will our lifestyle change if I got 400 million? No, it will not change one bit. Truth be told, I could retire right now with what I've made and not live a very happy life and not play golf again. So I've never really played the game of golf for monetary reasons. I play for the love of the game, and I want to play against the best in the world. I've always been interested in history and legacy, and right now the PGA Tour has that. There's a meaning when you win the Memorial Championship. There's a meaning when you win Arnold Palmer's event at Bay Hill. There's a meaning when you win LA, Torrey, some of these historic venues, and that to me matters a lot, right? I have, after winning this past U.S. Open, only me and Tiger have won at Torrey Pines, and we're both the golf course that we like, making putts on the 18th hole, right? That's a memory I'm gonna have forever that not many people can say. So my heart is with the PGA Tour. That's all I can say. It's not my business or my character to judge anybody who thinks otherwise. And for a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, those next 3-4 years are worth basically their retirement plan they're giving them. It's a very nice compensation to then retire and sail off to the sunset.
So much to hit on from that one clip. He initially just starts off talking about the format, which the format's not changing. I know that there were rumors that he was trying to negotiate a change in that. They were real sparse with the details and regarding the negotiations. So what do you think about that? Him just completely going back after talking about the format and how golf has been played for 100 years.
I mean, like when you talk about things like legacy and stuff like that, you're trying to portray yourself as somebody that is holier than thou, but now here you are down in the mud with this grimy ass league. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you're gonna switch up, just shut up. Don't even come out with the hot holier than thou, because you all, just like what happened, you got some grimy stuff happening. You know what? You are going to live on in the history of the game, and now all of your legendary putts will be all done at Golf Club of Houston on June 8th in your 3-day event now. So congrats to you, Jon Rahm, and apparently you are working on your 3 to 4 year retirement plan as well. So maybe you want to ride off
Yeah.
into the sunset.
Well,
Kudos to you. I'm not even gonna go down that route, but it's just,
yeah, there's a lot
mm,
to digest there. I mean, he talks about the the money not necessarily making an impactful part of his life, but then today he definitely said that the money was a part of it, and there were other things that he that led him to that decision. He did throw out the standard talking point of growing the game. You can't grow the
that was
game
corny.
if no one's watching. How are you growing the game? There's a limited opportunity for them to grow the game. He talked also about his desire to still somehow play the PGA Tour, which I think today's move really kind of throws mud on the negotiations for the PGA Tour and Saudi PIF framework agreement. But we'll come back to that.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff there, and him wanting to play on the PGA Tour and play the Spanish Open, which means a lot to him, and him talking about the greats. Not in this particular clip, but Sevi and Maria Olazabal, all these guys that paved the way for Spanish golf. And how are you going to play these events if they're part of the DP World Tour, or are you talking about these marquee events on the PGA Tour? How are you going to, at this current state, that's not possible. So what are we talking
Right.
about, man? It's again, if you're going to be a villain, just flat out be a villain. Go straight, you know,
Please.
just go complete origin story, tear it all down, tear the mask off. Don't BS around it, and try to play both sides of it. Again, if money matters, it matters to you, and that's totally fine. That's the point, is that you've said it did not matter, and then you said
Right.
your life would not
Exactly.
change.
If you said the money was a part of the issue the first time, nobody's gonna bat an eye. We get it. 350 million to go play somewhere for 14 events, three
Yeah.
rounds, non-cut. What? Huh?
And that's on the low end, right? 300's on the low end. It could be up to,
Yeah,
600 has been rumored. So let's just say at the minimum, we're talking 50 mil a year.
you're
Cool,
right.
man. We all got a price.
Even that. Right.
We all got a price,
For
and that's
real.
okay to say that shit. I'm just saying. No one's faulting someone for them being able to live the life that they choose, but you got to say that. Don't act
Right.
all holier than
Don't
thou and then
battle.
come back.
Yeah. Don't beat around the bush. Don't. Yeah. Mm,
So, and then, to insult the guys at the time that were going over there, clearly that last little part of the clip was him, throwing
right.
some
You shooting
shade at the
jabs and
guys.
stuff. Yeah. For what?
Exactly. These are some of your boys. You're saying, again, Phil Mickelson, that's your boy. Share an agent. You share, his brother was your college coach. All these different
Yeah.
connections that you have. That was a shot at him. He's not any spring chicken. He's in the latter part of his career. So let's keep it real. That was a shot at him
Please.
as well. You can't separate Phil, your boy, from that. And Phil's been mysteriously quiet this week. Around these, he was piping up a couple weeks ago, but that gets people riled up when you start talking Phil Mickelson. So we're gonna leave that alone today.
Yeah.
What's something else that he said that just really I was taken aback by? What's something else that you picked up on where you're just like, come on, bro?
Well, I mean, another aspect of it is with the way social media is and the way the internet is, we're gonna pull clips and we're gonna be able to pull excerpts. We're gonna be able to find the fine print, the quotes, whatever you want to call it, and all this naysay, all this no and stuff like that. We're gonna find it, and then there's gonna be collages, and now you're gonna look goofy in front of both audiences because the PGA Tour was riding with you, and not saying you were trying to be an ambassador and full on step in like Rory and stuff like that, but like, bro, when you say that my heart is with the PGA Tour and I want to make iconic putts on a Torrey Pines like Tiger does, and then you go and flip flop to the LIV Tour, you disrespecting both. And now both parties are going to be like, which one is it? Because the PGA
Yeah.
Tour is going to talk shit, and then the LIV Tour, they're going to talk shit too because they're like, well, what happened? All these quotes you were saying, and now you over here with the bad guys. What's up?
Yeah.
So again, which poison do you want to pick to stick in that arm? Let me know now.
I think that the writing has kind of been on the wall in terms of signs and things that he said or not said, things that we've always said he's kind of stuck his ankle out there and flirted a little bit with the LIV situation, never
Right.
fully blasting it. I think this is probably the strongest language that he said during the last couple of years, and that he was, again, probably leaving the door just a little bit ajar, kind of playing it neutral. But again, that was a pretty forceful minute and 45 seconds of comments, very pointed, even though he said he was going to be delicate, very pointed and how he felt about it. But I caught a clip, and I'm going to try to pull it up here on Twitter. It was from Kyle Porter, who's a CBS reporter, and he's like, with all the things that have been going on, something came to his mind that, from the Ryder Cup, and I was able to locate it here, that talking about at the end of the press conference, at the end of the tournament press conference, that no one had gone to Jon Rahm. It was the Rory show, and no one talked to Rahm until about 20 minutes into the press conference. And he even mentioned that. He's like, oh, let me get my brain back in it. I didn't even know I was here myself. So, let me see if I can get this presented on screen.
Man, shut your dramatic ass up. Oh my God, man. You know what? He was kind of warming it up with his comments, earlier in the season when he was talking about Sergio. I wish the guys could have a way back to play the Ryder Cup. I wish we could find a way to get the guys back on. Oh, no.
And I think there's also, just ego involved all around, and seeing at the end of the day, this move doesn't necessarily bring a ton of new eyes to LIV. You think about the names that have already moved: DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka. These are big names on tour, and that's not even getting people to tune in. I mean, halfway through the year, or probably even a little bit before the halfway point of their season, they literally stopped publishing the ratings on CW because the viewership was so low that it just didn't even make sense to keep putting their numbers week to week directly up against the PGA Tour numbers. People can hate on the PGA Tour, and we will even talk about how badly they have fumbled this as well, because the blame goes multiple directions in how this has been handled. The PGA Tour left the door open. Jay Monahan's a idiot. I was about to say something, the R word, he's an idiot, and he has mishandled this, and too many small dick egos in the room have
a lot of
this
prideful shit that's going to end up ruining it. You're right, 100%.
Let me pull this up. This is hopefully this comes across well.
John, do you have any thoughts on that question? What does it mean to be a European Ryder Cup?
Sorry.
I know you hadn't gotten any questions yet.
Let me come back real quick.
I didn't know Rambo was there.
Yeah. I didn't know I was here either.
Only the best player in the world.
Luke and Rory press conference. We could have gone ages ago. Come on.
Obviously, I don't have as much experience.
John, do you have any thoughts on that question?
Well,
What is it?
you know,
Yo, man, SMD, bro, SMD, man. I'm trying to be respectful, bro. I'm trying to keep it PG, but man, SMD, bro. You are so dramatic, bro. You are such a girl. When you make that miracle ass eagle putt that hits the back of the cup, hops up like you're a 20 handicap and drops in. That was your most memorable time of the Ryder Cup. Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about Rory because you went 4-1 and was the definitive best player on either side the whole week. Luke Donald, nobody thought he had a chance, and yet he captained these guys to a win and damn near a
yeah,
blowout. Yeah, we
and
gonna talk
bringing
to these guys,
and they're bringing him back again 2 years from now. Luke Donald
right?
surprised me positively with his captainship.
Thank
So
you.
shout out to Luke
Of course, we're
Donald.
gonna talk about them. I look. If Ron wouldn't have got any questions, I still would have been fine. If Terrell hadn't would have got questions, I would have been entertained because we all know how much of a character Terrell Hatton is. We love
Right.
that guy. Whether he be on the opposite side or not, we love him. Shane Lowry, same way. He right on that teetering spot of being a jerk and a cool guy, but we all love to see it and we love what he has to say. Ron,
Yep.
I don't have those same sentiments. Even Fairway Jesus, I would rather hear what he has to say. Ludwig Alberg, rookie year. How did this feel for you? You stepped up when we didn't think you were. Victor Hovland, your short game amazed everybody. We didn't even know you
Yeah.
had that in you. And you had nails all week because you were the second best player. Again, when you're middle of the road, Rom, nobody's really thinking about you because you didn't have anything to provide.
Yeah, and after he had such a good kind of early season last year and the wraparound that he had won,
Just fell
but the
off.
Masters was his fourth tournament win of the year, right? And that culminated, but after that point, we didn't really hear much from Rahm. He didn't perform well in the other three majors and kind of
Yep.
had a ho hum season after that point. So,
Yep.
it's just like, man, to command that level of attention. I know everybody's favorite whipping boy is Brandel Chambly, but I caught a little bit of him on the Golf Channel before I jumped on, and he was just saying, at this point, we know Tiger's a billionaire. Rory, brand deals, people can hate on Rory, but he's like, dude, is probably almost a billionaire at this point, between his deal with Nike, other endorsers, and he's not always in front of the camera, but ton of opportunities have come Rory's way as a result of his
Yep.
affable nature, being able to maintain the ego. And I even think about, the ratings this weekend from Tiger making his comeback. The ratings this weekend, just from a 20-person field event in the Bahamas, and just having Tiger Woods again move the needle at age 48 or 47, about to be 48 here shortly, still moves the needle in a way that Rahm theoretically wishes he could do. And I'm,
Right.
again, just that ego coming out, and I'm got me thinking about how is this are we dependent on Tiger to save the damn PGA Tour again and kind of figure this thing out and kind of carry it for the next couple of years until this live thing. I don't know. It the folks that are losing are fans at the end of the day. Cool, these
Yeah.
guys are going to get their money, but all we're seeing is infighting, people being split up, and we get the bull crap. You can pretty much predict how these scripts are going to go when people sign and go over. They're going to talk about growing the game. They're going to talk about it's the best thing for my family, which that's the
Yeah.
first quote that I saw. Um, and it's just like, dude, okay, I, they hand you your talking points on a cue card, and then you go out there and say the same shit that everybody else has said, and
Right.
we forget about you. Not we're going to see you in the majors, but the truth is, no one is watching this product outside of a lot of people who have been just hate the PGA Tour and have some personal against Jay Monahan, like they know that dude.
Right.
It's so interesting seeing people like saying, I'm never going to watch the PGA Tour again because of one person.
Right.
Really? I don't know, man. But
Yeah. Um, I think, and one thing that we were talking about, amongst ourselves is just really where does the PGA go from here? And the thing to me that is good and bad is, yeah, the PGA now has to put more money into its game and into its tour and into its product. But at what cost? This equity shit to me is stupid. I don't like you can take ownership in it after the fact. You're in the middle of your prime of your career or trying to make a living. You shouldn't be worried about, I mean, you know what? Not you know what? Let me take that back because at the end of the day, you still want to have something to reside upon after your playing career is done. Because a lot of these guys, that's all they've done, and you can tell that in football, basketball, all pro sports. What am I going to do after the fact? After I'm washed up, what are my endeavors? You know what I'm
keep
saying?
that
So
keep that thought. Keep that thought. Something that I read this week is that the PGA Tour actually has a really good pension plan. Current players that are actively playing in their pension funds, there are 100 guys. So this is rank and file. This is the stars that have a minimum of $5 million in their pension plan. 100 guys currently on tour have over $5 million saved in their pension plan to retire on. There's NFL players wish they could. You
true.
know, if that was offered to them, they would take that in a heartbeat. But yet we have all these kind of middling guys, complaining about their position in the game. It's like, hey man, if you're not a star, do you deserve top billing, the top money? So you said that when we were talking about the pension thing a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh no, I think that's a good, retention tool. But the more I get to thinking about it, and something that after seeing these wild numbers, golf is in a financial bubble, and it reminds me of like the housing crisis, that you have a lot of folks getting money that doesn't really exist in the game of golf. There,
Right.
the money that Liv has paid these players, we are well into over $1 billion that they have paid out to acquire
Yeah.
these players that are on Liv. There ain't $1 billion coming into that league. So is it about making a profit? We've talked about the reasons behind the league. Is it ulterior motives? But again, billions, and even when you
Yeah.
include the structural operational cost, there's not enough revenue coming into the professional game of golf. And again, I like to talk about how there's two different types of golf. There's amateur golf that we play and enjoy, and we'll go play this weekend or tomorrow, and we're going to still play golf. And then
Yeah.
there's the professional game, the viewership, the spectator part of it, the fandom of golf. But there's not the money that's being paid out. The PGA Tour, that's why they're struggling right now too. Having to come up with these elevated events last year, and the PIP, all these different things to keep people happy. That money ain't there. So
Yeah.
golf is in this financial bubble right now that really they cannot afford, and it's gonna bust at some point in time. This shit that we're experiencing cannot go on forever. This arms race of just throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at people, when does it actually do something? Because you have fans pissed off right now, people that are saying they only watch the majors, and we're just throwing money out left and right. So kudos to you for bringing that up a couple weeks ago, and just kind of reflecting the day. I was like, Marco's actually kind of damn right. This money is ridiculous, and it's not real.
Right. And I think another thing that's crazy to me is that you think about like when we were talking about points, it kind of came up too because it's like, yeah, bro, like the Ford net is like 400 FedEx points or whatever, but yeah, you just need like every freaking episode of Breaking Bad wasn't amazing, you're gonna have some mediocre weeks. Every
Mm-mm.
episode of Martin wasn't drop dead hilarious. You're gonna have some serious moments. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to have some filler in there, and all your filler isn't gonna be big boy money. Some of that stuff is gonna have to be your value menu stuff. So, Jon Rahm, why are you out here talking about the Torrey Pines when you're making a living off of winning the American Express? You're a repeat winner of this BS early season event. This is a top 175 event where they have to play on 3 courses just to get everybody out there, and then they have a cut, and then it's just a freaking Corn Ferry Tour event. And then a couple of PGA stars that want to play early, know about the area, know about the course, such and such and such. So
Yeah.
again, when it comes to winning these prolific events and being prolific in winning, maybe we should think about the resume of what all Rahm is winning besides the U.S. Open and the Masters. Because if we want to go to the fine print, we can go to some BS wins for you too, my boy.
Yeah. I
So
mean, that's credible. That is very credible. Um, and in a response to a comment this week on the channel, I just said something to somebody that's like, the live folks play 14 tournaments and I'm sure they're, kind of abbreviated playoff or whatever. But I'm like, I'm a golf fan. I literally watch golf. If there was golf on 7 days a week, I'd probably turn it on 6 of the 7, if not 7 of the 7, just and
right,
have it in the background, or just seeing the greatest at the game of golf do what they do. I'll just enjoy watching golf because it's a hard game to play and master. And so seeing the best of the best play it, that's something that's appealing to me. And I said, I want to
yep,
watch as much golf as available. So if you're only playing 14 weeks of the year and the PGA Tour is playing essentially about 46 to 50 weeks of the year, sign me up for that shit. That's what
right,
I want. Even if it's not, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, think about the most kind of blah. Think about somebody like a Nick Watney. Bro, do you think Nick Watney wouldn't come out here and just like take people's money left and right, even if he's struggling
crazy.
to kill it on the PGA Tour? Nick Watney would come snatch every dollar you have in your wallet, yeah, on his
Listen,
worst day.
we
So,
played, we played, man, we talk about courses we play. We are okay. Prime example. We were out at Prairie Lakes golf course. We, even in those conditions, we shot a decent number. But in those conditions, from the tee boxes we played, you think you're not shooting goddamn a 59 or something like that? Sorry, mom, GD. He not shooting like a 60 on a
he's
par 71.
yeah, he's bad day 65.
You
He's
know,
going low. It's just like, man, the caliber, and I get it. The guys want to, if it doesn't matter, I can't tune in. Bro, I'm a golf junkie. And
they did not
golf,
pass him enough.
no, golf is it's already a niche sport. And I don't see these arguments about having, people talk about it's a monopoly. The PGA Tour is a monopoly. There are
Yeah,
always top tier leagues. I'm sorry. The NBA is the top tier of basketball.
yeah,
Bro, I know they play good basketball in Spain, in Lithuania, in Germany. Guess what? The NBA is the top tier. These alternative leagues have never done well. The
yeah.
ABL, the what's the other one that was ABA, alternative basketball league. The USFL and against the NFL. These alternative leagues, it's tough to try to start something when there's
Gain
already
traction on any of that.
the top tier already exists, bro. And it
Yep.
exists for a reason. And again, Rom moving is going to move some people over. It does feel like a seismic shift. I think I felt the way that I felt today and these last couple of days with all the news coming. It's just because I know where he stood for the last 2 years, and then for him to make this change at this point, it's frustrating. It's just
Yeah.
like, hey man, I was joking with my wife earlier. I was like, I'm gonna use this phrase that is now gonna it's played out. But it's like stand on business, man. Everybody's
Real
using
talk.
that, everybody's wearing that shit out. But it's like, come on, stand on some business and stick with your guns. If money the truth is, I kind of talked about it earlier. Brandel Chambly said, theoretically, Rom, yeah, this money is life changing, generational, but it could have been double what he's getting from Live. He had
Yeah.
so many avenues to make money in his career. You know, the third highest grossing athlete outside of Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods is a golfer, Arnold Palmer. He only made in his entire career $3.5 million. And you think about the amount of money that Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods have raked in their career, and for him to be the third highest grossing and earning athlete of all time, that says a lot about what you can do off the golf course. I'm pretty sure Jack Nicklaus is not far behind that. Rory McIlroy trailing shortly there behind that. These guys can make a crap ton of money off of golf, and now those opportunities are unfortunately going to dry up. They're going to slow
Yep.
down because no one is sponsoring Live. No TV entity is coming to the table for Live. As much as they can drive all these people over there, no one's shown
Yeah.
the interest to do that for them.
Right. I mean, and if you look, if you pay attention to any kind of ads, I ain't seen my man's Rom on any Travis Matthew ads in a long time. I don't see him posing with the golf swing anymore in no Travis Matthew gear. Where his clothes coming from? Hmm. But again, oh, and also, I mean, like, just like you were saying, stand on business, bro. Like, I mean, you can use another quotable. It's the principality. Like, it's just past the morality, past everything else, bro. Like, please, the switch up is crazy, bro. I like, it's insane to me. I I
You
don't
know
know,
what?
man.
And we've come to this stage in life in the world where people view status and money as the only thing, and integrity absolutely means nothing. And
Right.
I was thinking like, what would be the number it would take for me to emphatically go to, like, let's say fucking some person from Live is watching this. They're like, well, maybe we can get them on our team. What would be the dollar amount that I would accept to emphatically start like rah rah cheering? And I'm like, is it 1 million, 2 million? Could I figure out how to get that somewhere else? Or maybe they could pay me to just shut up, right?
Right.
And like never say something bad, or I don't know. But to emphatically become a fan and then reverse everything I've ever said about it without anything changing, like nothing's changed. Now, if Rom was able to, let's say in a year, clearly their season's about to start up. So I don't think, him negotiating, getting an extra day on course for them, I don't think that'd be possible, right? I'm assuming these courses are like, we've reserved y'all for 4 days. Your pro-am 3-day tournament. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that makes sense. But let's say next year, if this continues to go this way and nothing changes with the structure of the league and how they play, bro, the hypocrisy of it all. And when does it just like, you able, I get it. Like people would say, oh, I can sleep well with my 300 million. But
Yeah.
in the back of your head, aren't you just like, I'm a piece of shit? Like, I don't know.
Hey,
Maybe I'm just too high and mighty myself to just like, I don't know.
I mean, that's what we were raised on, though. We was raised on integrity. We were raised on that. We were raised on standing on business. It ain't never a time. You know what I'm saying? Right. You think
Yeah.
right. Was it ever a time where we wasn't standing on business? Even if we're wrong, have we not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Some people
Yeah.
have it in them. Some people don't. Now,
Yeah.
it made me think of this though. You know, you go like, we were talking about Lilia Vu, and sometimes you're not always on the bandwagon. You're not always on health as well. He going to 3 days. He going to 14 events. He already looking kind of pudgy.
I
Who's to
was
say
looking at
he
the
won't be
pictures
with
today.
John Daly?
I was looking at the pictures today. My man looked like he's been eating well. I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
he's a couple of weeks off and a snicker away from being just out of it. I mean,
Bro is two McDoubles away from being,
there's been times in Jon Rahm's career where he has looked unhealthy and very soft. And when you are only playing, let's say your 18 weeks of the year, let's say that's what it looks like, right? Your 4 majors and your
yeah,
14 events for live. Bro, I mean, that's a lot of time off. And, you know, you said you were about the
yeah,
passion of the game, which means you play. Are, are we going to see peak Rom?
no,
Someone was trying to give him way too much credit on the Golf Channel, talking about his competitiveness, and which is cool. That's cool. But he's like, I would give him the benefit of the doubt and the odds and to win 7 of the 14 events. I'm like, bro, you tripping. Like you are
you
tripping.
you really need you need to
We
get
saw we saw what happened with DJ. I think DJ has won once on live, maybe twice, and it was the first
Taylor
one was
Gooch has
very
2 wins. Randomly, Taylor Gooch has 2 wins. Don't tell me John Rahm gonna come through clean sweeping.
no. No,
Out of my
bro,
face, man.
the work ethic is not going to be there when you don't when there's no pressure, bro. You got the money. You s- we don't know the terms for these contracts, right? But we know that
Right.
for the top stars, the money's guaranteed, regardless of performance. So
Yeah.
homeboy could gain 75 pounds, play like shit. He's still a captain. He's still got equity in this new team, and he's
Yep.
got $300 million banked. So shit, what if his integrity is at this level? Who's to say he doesn't just mail it in? Like, bro, I got my money. Who gives a shit how I play going forward, right? Because
Seriously,
he's
what
he's
does it even
he's
matter now?
he's exempted into the next 20 majors. He's got 5 years
Yeah,
for
5 years. Yeah.
Four majors
Masters,
and
whatever. And then
lifetime for Masters, bro. So
10 years for the US
he's
Open, and then 5 years for the PGA and in the Open.
made in the shade, bro. I mean, again,
What is it?
we
What is it to me? I play 2 days. I'm good. I mean, I'll miss the cut. I got my Masters. I got my US Open. I mean,
right.
there are people that don't have one major. I have two. I mean, ain't no
I think that's
competitiveness.
what
You was trying to be
I think
competitive,
that's
you would have found a way to stay in the Ryder Cup.
yeah. I think that well, hell. Okay, so I know you've been hooping
And I
and
don't
came
like what
in.
Rory said about that shit. I
So
don't
you
like
saw that,
that
right?
goofy. Yeah,
You saw that,
stupid.
right?
We're gonna have to
Okay.
change the rules. So he's gotta be there at best page in 2025. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Not with him signing with Liv. You don't think that this deal isn't gonna fall through? If this deal falls through, DP World Tour, PGA Tour, they say no go. They say no go. They better
Yeah,
hope by
because I
12/31 there's a deal in place.
and apparently, that's part of the reason that I think, they're saying that the Saudis went super hard after Rum is because, all this talk
They
about,
have all the leverage now.
um, the PGA Tour having extra money or, offers for money. The PGA Tour says that they did not solicit any of these private equity firms to come to them with money. And the Saudis, they're like, okay, bro, that's cool. We were trying to play fair. I don't think there's been good faith on either side, right? When you start off with lawsuits, the shit's already starting off on the wrong foot,
Right. When
and
you're
you're
trying to
all
get
you're
paperwork and stuff exposed and all the stuff, all the inner workings of what's really been said behind the scenes, y'all both playing dirty. And that's
yeah,
how it
but
goes when you are evil and you going for that much money. That's how that
yeah,
works.
but both sides hands are dirty, right? That's
No,
why
that's what
they
I'm
both
saying. Both.
agreed.
Oh yeah. No, when we were talking about Jay Monahan, I said that shit. I said he's
Yeah.
probably he probably went over his board and was like, yeah, we're gonna make this deal. Like I said, as long as I get about 50 mil out of this hush money, we ain't even gotta worry about the
Take
rest, bro.
take
If
care
the
take
deal
care of your
falls
boy.
through, you know what I'm saying? I said that exact thing. Both of these teams is dirty. The lawyers is making enough money to where they like, all right, look, listen, I'm seeing what we can do. We don't really got to do much, but like, I'm just letting you know, my phone open. So if you really want to make business happen, just call me. Oh, and my backup number, my burner phone, the number for that one is this. You think these guys don't have no backup plans, man?
It's
This
just
is
not, yeah,
dirty.
it's not a serious, to me, this has not been a serious endeavor of trying to really partner up. So the 31st of
Right.
December is coming up swiftly, right? So tomorrow's the 8th, so meaning next
3
Friday is the
weeks.
15th. They're not even meeting in person until next Friday. And they act like these in-person meetings are the realistically the only time that they
Oh,
discuss stuff. Like you're not serious. Like you're this is so non-serious. So
this
at
is
the end of
so
the day,
unserious.
again, these private equity guys are going to come to the table with a shit ton of money for the PGA Tour. Because let's just go
Yeah.
ahead and assume that the Saudi PIF thing is a no-go. These guys are, again, the product. The PGA Tour does not bring in a crap ton of money. We love
Right.
it like nobody's business, but when you think about their avenues to make money, it's
Yeah.
actually not that there's not that many avenues, right? So you're talking about TV deals. Again, they're poaching some of your players, so you're losing fandom. So
Yeah.
not as many people are watching. The gate crowds aren't bringing in a ton of money. You think about it, there's a handful of events that the crowds are crazy, right? So the waste
Yeah.
management, you're going to see a ton of crowds. Depending on the weather, even at Pebble Beach, you might get some decent crowds. These are not high revenue things. There's not, I mean, there's
Right.
PGA Tour merch, but I mean, I just wait for my PGA Tour merch to go to Ross and pick it up from there.
Right.
I'm
Seriously.
not paying $70 for a PGA Tour polo because it's PGA Tour. So when you think about their ways that
Seriously.
they can bring in money, where is it going to come from? Again, this bubble of just made up money is going to burst at some point. It's just not going to last forever. Um,
It's not.
got Bobby Fischer comment. As long as Tiger doesn't go, I'm watching the PGA. I'm with you, man. I'm sorry.
I
Like
feel you on that. I feel you on
Ti-
that.
Tiger still moves the needle for me, and I watched every day last week, and he's as long as he that, and I think we were talking when we were kind of talking about the Rom competitiveness. That's to me the differentiator between a guy like Tiger who has no reason to come play anymore. He's made in the shade financially. He could go caddy and pour all of his energy into Charlie, building him up, coaching him, you know, playing a few weeks a year on the
And
Champions Tour in a couple of
yeah,
years, work with his foundation. But that man clearly has been in the gym working his ass off. I think Tiger looks the best physical, like from a upper body standpoint, the best he's looked possibly ever.
right.
Um, I was looking
No, I
at
understand.
comparison pictures, and I'm like, bro, the upper body. I know he's and looking at how he has to swing now, that his back and core has to be really in shape to turn the way he
Yeah.
needs to turn because he's not getting a push off of that right side as much as he used to. But his ability to mentally say, I don't have to be out here, but I'm gonna be out here, and I'm gonna be in the best possible shape that I can get myself into to go compete and try to win again. That's the thing
That's
that
true
these
competitiveness.
young guys get a taste, and then they're like,
I'm
deuces,
good.
I'm good on y'all. Rom's like, I won my green jacket. Let me go get this generational check and then shut it down,
Seriously.
right?
Seriously. You think about young guys though, You think about it, there's a lot to be said about it, but you think about guys like Speed and JT. What are they doing? They looking up to Tiger. So what are they doing? Digging that shit out the mud because JT could have mailed it in too. He got majors already. He's won. He is good. He is established. He got a wife
Yeah.
now. He got a nice little living in Florida. You know, dad's PGA forever. You think they ain't got no money? You think they're not chilling? And he is still out here posting his transparency posts. He is
Yeah.
posting these clips. He is getting back in the gym. He is getting back on that range in Seminole. He
But
out
he's
here.
close. He's close to Tiger, man. So he sees it up close and personal. I think.
Exactly.
I
They
think
see
the
the competitive.
guys.
They see what that is.
I think the guys that have been close to Tiger over the years have a different drive, and I
Yeah.
fully believe this that had Tiger not gone injured for the last couple of years, that this stuff would not be happening the way that it's going down right now. I truly believe that. Had he been able to kind of get in these guys' ears, push people that all these guys grew up watching Tiger. I
Yep.
mean, in the last 20 some odd years, they have all grown up watching peak Tiger, and there's still that draw there. So I don't know, man. Let me ask you this. I already have a feeling on somebody that is already wavering, giving us the Jon Rahm vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I predict that Jason Day is going to make the move. I think he's the next
Well,
guy. He's today. I mean, they had him, interviews at Grant Thornton today, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a bunch of guys over there, and maybe in a couple of years ago when I was hurt and I wasn't playing as well, had they come with the right number, I would have considered going over there." And so I think these guys start dropping little hints like, "Hey, come at me. Maybe if you throw the right number at me, you can see me, coming over there." And now that he's playing better and he's healthy again, he's like, maybe I can
I mean, I
maximize these.
guess.
But he's talking soft about it in the same way that Rom has. So if
Yeah.
Jason Day moves over, I'm not surprised. Other than that, I don't think anybody else is a needle mover. I don't see a Spieth moving. Like you said, a JT is not going over there. Um, they're just too established. You could never see Scheffler. He's too
Scheffler,
principled.
no. Yeah, way too principled. You know, who I wouldn't mind or care if they went?
Who's that? What's that? What is that?
Cantley.
Oh no, bro. Okay, so let's talk about Cantlay. Damn, there's so many layers and information that came out today, right? So, what was that? Dan Rappaport with Four Place, saying that apparently right now in the player director room, Patrick Cantlay is calling all the shots and you know
Yeah,
moving moving weight in there. I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, we know Cantlay is all about the dollar. So what does that,
right.
when you're talking about that versus, the essence of the game and trying to save the tour, what is it? Where does that lead you? Does that lead us where we've been, if that's true? Where everything feels like chaos, and that's the feeling that you're like, does anybody have control of this? Who's steering the ship up there? Is that why they tried to, get Tiger on the board? I don't know. I agree. Like I wouldn't miss Cantlay. We know he doesn't drive the needle,
Yeah,
and hell, we know there's so many contentious relationships over there on Live. Already, I know
right.
they put on a good face, but there's a lot of guys over there that don't like each other.
I mean,
Cantlay would be
right.
a
He
perfect
probably
addition.
exactly. He'd fit right in with those jerk offs like Patrick Reed and shit like that. Like, okay, go ahead, bro. You know what would really trip me out? Like a name like a Tony Finau or something like that going. Like Tony Finau just out the blue was like, "Yo, they offered me 200 mil. I didn't think I was worth it either, but you know what? We there." You know what I'm saying? Like that would really like kind of get
Well,
me going.
hell. Speaking of
We,
that,
you
dude,
know,
I mean, he got 25 kids, and um,
he wouldn't go.
I've
Utah's cheap.
I
Utah's cheap.
shoot out of I don't know, bro. I read a story earlier in the year. Seems like he's had some not financial issues, but some poor financial choices that he's made. Um, I don't know. He's got a
You
couple of
know,
lawsuits
one
pending.
it's one that's real janky. It was like one of his former boosters, and the guy is trying to exploit him because nobody thought Tony Finau was going to be as good as he was. They thought he was going to be all
Yeah.
right, put him on for a couple of years, sponsor him, take care of him, and he paid that back. But he's
Now
suing
he's
for
trying to go
more
get that
money.
extra.
Yeah, he's like, well, I didn't know you were going to be this good. Let me get some extra. And it's like, no, bro, I already paid back the percentage plus interest that I owed you for that. Because I read an
Yeah.
article on that like 2 years ago, and it's been going on
Yeah.
since then. And it's some real shady shit going on the opposite side, not female side. So
Yeah.
dealing with that, it's kind of disappointing that he's having to go
But you
through
know,
that.
you know what would clean it up? A check for $200 million. I don't know, man.
Exactly.
Who else would
He'd probably be trying to go
who
for more.
who else would you be surprised if they made the move? And who would you, yeah, who would you be surprised by? And what's another one that you'd be surprised by, and another one that you're like, that makes sense for you?
Let's see. Like a guy like Kevin Kisner, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd also be surprised. Like I wouldn't be surprised because like, oh, Kevin Kisner definitely already told you what he is. He is one of the bros. He definitely just be beating it around to get that top 20, top 30, and get up out of there till the next week. And then go
Yeah,
on back to Georgia.
I think I think Kiz is too much of a party boy. A couple of events
But I
over in
think he's
Saudi,
fine. Yeah.
yeah,
Nah,
and
I think he's staying
he's
in America
past
to party.
he's he's past his, yeah. I think he'd get arrested over in Saudi Arabia. He'd do or say something that we'd find out
Probably.
Kiz is locked up somewhere. Perry Wiggins in the
Hmm.
building. Perry Tiger is still the needle. Yeah, no doubt. Everyone else might adjust the needle. Rory Spieth and JT move the needle, but as soon as 48-year-old Tiger is still the needle for broadcast rights. Yeah, I don't know if you were in here, Perry, but we absolutely said that, man. I think Rahm's ego is just hurt that he doesn't get people going in the same way that 48-year-old Tiger, 47-year-old Tiger gets people watching and turning the TV set on
Yeah. What's
from
crazy to
all
me
across
is,
the.
yeah, what's crazy to me about Rom to like just in particular is when you look at a guy like Rom, all the natural ability is there because when you're that weak with the left hand and that strong with the right hand, you still manage to whip it out there 330 off the drive. Now you can move it left to right to left, flight it, get it high, get it low, hit all nine windows, as Tiger would say. And yet we don't see you working on that. Like just because of your natural ability, it doesn't mean that we don't want to see you work at it and practice it. What do we still see from Rory and Tiger? We still see them beating balls. They're
Yeah,
not out there just showing up. That's not what it is. They out there still digging it out.
there's still a
Every time
drive.
that's Rory's in Florida for that very reason. If Rory was still living in Ireland, do you think he'd be doing this on the PGA Tour? No, he wouldn't be able to because it'd be cold and rainy and miserable, and he'd have to be in the hidden bays or he'd
Yeah,
have to go, such and such.
way too early prediction. I think Rory's going to win a major this year. I think him giving up his spot on
Yes,
the directors board and just focusing on golf, like you said, he wasn't that far off this past year. Clearly, the
right.
man is still in form and has the talent. I can see him getting a major this year, and I'm going to go ahead and predict that he's going to get one. Maybe the Open may sets up for him. I just think that he is going to come out focused, and there will be nothing to take away from him because of, these live guys are still qualifying for majors at this point. So they
Right.
claim that they have some of the best players in the world. They will play in the majors, but I really do think that this is really motivated Rory to continue to cement that legacy and prove that he truly is one of the greats of the game. Because, he can't
Absolutely.
go the rest of his career and not win another major and have the credibility that we think he should have.
Right.
I don't know. Another one that's kind of on the radar and, had a resurgence this year is Ricky. Ricky Fowler's kind of always lingering there. I think it's good that a couple of these guys that I think have wavered are in the Grant Thornton this week and, still kind of ingratiating themselves in the PGA Tour. And,
Yeah.
I'm just, there's just no way that Rahm goes over there without somebody else trailing behind. Because when you look at that qualifying tournament, which we didn't get to talk about this past Sunday, so do you remember the name Victor Dubuisson from
Yeah.
DP World Tour?
Yeah.
So
French Crazy Hands. He was in
yeah,
the match play. I mean, yeah.
and Ryder Cup. Okay, so apparently, like he was trying to qualify for LIV and ended up withdrawing and literally retiring from the game of golf within the same week after withdrawing from this LIV qualifying event. We got Jason Duffner over there. Chris Stroud, I think, was another name. If you're pulling these type of guys to fill out Rahm's team, I mean, how illegitimate is that? I mean, Rahm gave the standard quote today that, "Oh, I can't talk about that." When he was asked who else is going to be going over with you, he just said, So clearly, some things are still in the works, but um, you know, we'll see,
Yeah.
man. I
Somebody probably had to talk him off the edge too about that 4 round shit. Because when you start with only 44 players, you have a cut. It goes down to 22. Okay, all right. What is that?
yeah,
That's a group outing with the homies. Yo, hey, let's hit Tampa, bro. Yeah. Nah, I already talked to the pro shop. We can get 4 tee times back to back to back, and we'll be
right.
good. They already
They're
told
gonna
us.
let it, they're gonna
Yeah.
let us play fivesomes. They're gonna let us sneak
Yeah.
five in
Hey,
the groups.
listen. Hey, bro, don't be dipping out. I'm gonna send a Venmo request. I done already paid for this on my credit card, so you better make it. I'm telling you now,
Bro,
boy.
it
Look,
literally would be like my group chat this week because, bro,
I'm telling you,
I booked 4 tea times and I had like a couple guys cancel. I said, "Hey y'all, my card's on file." That's what that live.
we not
Just, oh
about
my
to. Yeah,
god,
we
bro!
not finna do this. Yeah, let's continue this on Sunday, man. Before we get too heated, man. God bless.
All right, yeah. So big news. I had put a background up. It was like a therapy couch because I was like, I needed to talk to somebody today about
A
this.
woosah moment for real.
Bro, social media's been going crazy. I needed to vent. It was a day that I needed to release this negativity. So I thank you for, if you join the live today, thank you. Thank you, Marcus, for accommodating this in your schedule after getting some hoops in because I needed some catharsis.
For sure.
And right on, Perry. Still not watching or trying to find that crap watch channel. Yeah, bro. I
I'm
mean,
telling you, I don't even know
because
what the CW is.
they're wrestling with Gilmore Girls. I mean, literally. I think they got. I'm not saying this to be catty. I think they literally got bumped for a show in syndication last year
A
because
rerun. Yeah, something like that.
them dudes are not bringing in any ratings, and they run that
Nothing.
crap one time. It's not like Golf Channel where you can catch like the final round of tournaments throughout the week,
Yes.
bro. Once CW plays that shit live, they are done. You ain't seeing that as a replay during the week. It is not a
Real talk.
serious endeavor. You cannot convince me of different. It's not, the bubble's gonna burst. They're writing checks that are it's play money. It's just like they're
Yeah,
just snatching money out of the air. This is not real. So anyway, Bearded Bros Golf Show. Thanks for joining us this random Thursday evening, and we'll catch you guys back again on Sunday. Signing out. I'm Rod.
and I'm Marcus.
Peace.
Peace.